Wow, she's in KL again. Hey everyone! Just a quick message before we start today's video is over 95% of you watching these videos haven't subscribed to my channel. So if you could do that, that would be amazing. There's a little icon in the corner of the video if you want to subscribe there, or you can go to my channel to do so. If not, feel free to subscribe later if you like my content, and thank you so much for watching. It feels like kind of coming home, big back in KL. No surprise, I'm here again for the fourth time. I love it, absolutely love it here. Hello everybody, I am back in my favorite city, KL again, and I realize that this is the fourth time I've been here, which is the most that I've ever visited any city in the world, and there's so many reasons for that. So I wanted to make today's video. So first of all, I'll give you a little bit of a life update, show you my arrival in KL, and then tell you why KL again, why I love this city and why it was the perfect choice to spend a couple of weeks this time. So let's do it. Okay, so as for a life update, my husband and I have taken a few months off work to travel full time, which has been amazing. You would have probably seen some of my India content. I have so much South America content to post as well, but we're ready to go and get a new job again. I'm ready to go back to work. And so we needed a place to come to settle down for a few weeks while my husband works on his portfolio and while I apply for some jobs. The plan at this stage is to try to move to New York, so TBC on that. Fingers crossed that I'll be able to do it and bring you all along on the way. So anyway, we needed a place that's comfy and cozy and awesome, just to have a little bit of a base while we embark on the next step of our journey. So that's going to kind of tie into why KL. So basically that's what's happening with me. So let me show you the whole arrival in KL process. I'm officially 5 minutes from landing in Malaysia and I'm so excited. I'm almost at KL. Look. It's so beautiful already. So I'm in KLIA 1 this time, which I've never actually been in this airport before, so it's different, it's huge. But we're having to get a bus to what I think is arrivals elsewhere, so it's all very different. There's like a free lychee welcome drink, which is nice. But yeah, all very different this time to the other times I've flown with, I guess, more budget airlines. Very cool. Now there's a new change to the passport system here. As an Australian, I'm able to go through like the automatic gate, which is absolutely awesome. So I just have to do like the MDAC form online prior, and yeah, I'm all in. Downside, I don't get a passport stamp anymore, but upside, very easy, very quick. Okay, so it's all like relatively well signed as an e-hailing waiting area. Like this whole level, it looks like level 1 you can do like Grab and stuff like that from. It's so nice to be back, and I absolutely love the Malay language so much. Like, it's so charming. I just love the way that they spell express in particular, but there's all these words everywhere. It's so phonetically spelt. It's fantastic. It's nice to be back. It feels like kind of coming home, big back in KL, even though it is so humid. And we're all like checked into our Airbnb. It's really nice. It's got like a big kitchen, lounge room, like TV. I mean, the view's just like more walls, and like an ensuite and stuff. Pretty good, and only 850 Australian dollars for 2 weeks too. So. So one of the reasons that we've picked KL as a place to spend time in is that Sydney is really expensive, especially given that we're on a budget because we've not been working for like 7 months. So we needed a place that was cost efficient. Food is pretty cheap, so like at a local place you'll get lunch or dinner for like between, I don't know, 10, 15 ringgit, and then even at a nicer place it'll be like 20 or 30 ringgit per person, which is super cheap and incredible. So that is totally a benefit. Also, you may have noticed that I have different hair from when I arrived. I got that cut and coloured this morning for only 100 Australian dollars, which is like so much cheaper. Again, like a third of the price as what it would be in Sydney. And I got my nails done as well for like 15 ringgit. So that kind of stuff is really cheap. I can get massages, relax, chill. A massage here would be like around about 100 ringgit, so pretty reasonable as well. So cost of living here is really cheap, and that's absolutely a priority for us at this stage. Something else that was really important is really good internet and like general infrastructure, and that is abundant in KL in particular. So at our Airbnb and also at a bunch of the cafes that I've been in, the Wi-Fi is easily like 200 to 300 megabits down, which is like unheard of in Australia. Infrastructure here and like the technology stuff is like second to none, and there's so many places to, you know, take your laptop, get a coffee, and that's obviously very important when I'm doing like phone and video interviews and stuff, so it was totally a priority for us. So this is like a pretty classic priority in traveling, but is really important to me is safety. I've been to a lot of countries and cities in the last like year or so, and not a lot of places feel as safe as Malaysia does and as safe as KL does. It's absolutely amazing. I mean, at the moment my husband's at home working on his portfolio quite a bit, so I'm sort of like going to the gym and going for walks and just sort of like hanging out. So it's really nice to be in a city where I feel like I can just like walk around by myself at pretty much any time of the day, pretty much most areas of the city without a problem. So not having that like safety concern in the back of my mind is really, really beautiful and really important, and feels so safe as like a female person walking around alone, which is really good. It would be a huge miss to talk about why I'm in KL without talking about food. Obviously, like KL has some of the best food in the entire world. So not only is like the local food mind-blowing, like we got here yesterday and I had an nasi lemak this morning, and like as soon as I bit into that, like it was vegan chicken, but like biting into that, like the explosion of flavors and like the depth and richness of those Malaysian flavors is like, I'd almost forgotten. I think it's been like 6 or 8 months since I've been back here, so like it all came flooding back, and I'm like, oh yeah, it tastes like home. And then there's really good international options here as well. Like I'm excited to go down to Brickfields and get some like traditional Indian food, the Middle Eastern food, just like the food availability and the multicultural food dynamics here as well are incredible. And then there's all those like classic Western foods if I so desire while I'm here too. So I am so ready to eat so well while I'm here. Something I do not take for granted is the warm weather. I love that about Malaysia. I feel like it's always high 20s, low 30s, which I absolutely love. It actually has just been raining. I think we're in that time of year where it rains a little bit in the afternoons, but it's never for long. It's still warm, it's fine. But just being out in like just a t-shirt and like not having to worry about taking a jacket out at night and stuff. I love that tropical warm weather, and even though it's humid, so good. Like I love the Malaysian weather. This is something that's incredible and totally a draw to come back. So as many of you have commented on my videos, you know that I love going for a walk. I'm often like walking and talking in these videos because there's nothing like wandering around a big, exciting, bustling city. So something that I love about KL is how walkable it is. So I'm staying in Bukit Bintang again because I absolutely love this area, and it's so easy to walk around both this area and then like to go up to KLCC or walk down to Chinatown and Brickfields and Central and stuff. And there's a rabbit. So it's super easy, super walkable, and things are really accessible, which is incredible because when you're in those big cities that you can't walk around, it's just not the same feeling. Like, love going for a walk. And I guess tied to that in terms of like accessibility and transport, so while it's really walkable, there's actually pretty decent public transport here as well, which is good. So the monorail is really handy. It takes you to a bunch of places, and the train system is really good as well. I feel like they've improved that since the last time I was here. The new station at Bukit Bintang, well, at least seemed new to me, is like really cool, like air conditioned and very like futuristic feeling. So between the train and the monorail, it feels like you can kind of get everywhere that you need to. Fantastic. And those places that you can't get using those two services, the Grab app is so good. Grabs are really cheap, which is kind of like Uber. Amazing. You can get across the city for like 15, 20 ringgit at most, which is fantastic, and they're really quick. Between public transport and getting a Grab, you can get kind of anywhere, which is so good. Like that independence that you get from just like being able to go out is so good. You can go anywhere. I feel like staying in the Bukit Bintang area, I also need to touch on how good the shopping is in KL. It's amazing. I feel like this city is like the home of malls. Like if you're into shopping at shopping malls, it's fantastic. So many of them are interconnected. You can walk like underground between all these crazy malls. There's any shop you can imagine, I swear, no matter what country the brand is from, you could probably find a shop for it in KL. I'm not generally like a huge kind of shopping girl, but it has been nice to like go out and buy a few things that I've needed. And stuff is generally, I found, a bit cheaper here. And even some of the big brands, I was gonna buy a new like gimbal to stabilize my phone to film, and they were like 50 Australian dollars cheaper here than they were in Australia. So like, yeah, shopping is really good in terms of like access to shops, but also prices. I would be absolutely missing a huge thing that is a draw to KL if I didn't mention how amazingly hospitable and friendly and kind Malaysian people are. everyone you run into is nice, like so lovely. Service staff are kind, people on the street are kind, people who get in the elevator with you are kind, people are just happy to have a chat, happy to get to know you, want to know where you're from, have a conversation. Like, it's so nice. It just feels like everyone's really happy to see you here and really like pleased, which is nice. I feel like as a foreigner, you go to these cities sometimes and you feel like you might be a bit like in the way. You never feel like that in KL. You feel like you're always welcome and home here, and that's such a beautiful feeling. So something that we also looked at in terms of like places to stay was gyms. I'm a power lifter, so finding like strength training gyms is really important, and there's a fair few good gyms in KL, which is awesome. They're not like super cheap compared to some cities. Like for example, they're cheaper in like Taiwan or Vietnam. But I found a good gym, and for a month it's 88 Australian dollars for like unlimited access. So it's not too bad, but at least like there's access to good gyms, which was important because I have a lot of time on my hands at the moment while I'm applying for jobs. And speaking of that whole like having a lot of time on my hands thing, I love KL because it's such a dense city. There's so much to see here and so much to do. So around even the Bukit Bintang area and stuff, like obviously shopping and eating takes some time. But there's a lot of things to do in terms of like day trips, touristy things, like the eco park, the bird park, the sky towers. So I feel like it's a really good place in terms of like spending time because there is so much to do. And every district of the city has its own unique things to do as well. So I feel like it's a kind of city you could never really get bored in. And I guess tied to that whole like not getting bored thing, there's literally always stuff going on. Like no matter what time of the day or night that you go out in the city, there's always people around, like always. It's amazing. It's such an electric, vibrant, exciting, neon, like alive city. I love the kind of city where there's just like buskers and people wandering around and people chatting and out late and shopping and all these sorts of things, like always happening. There's nothing I dislike more than a boring city. And so KL has like something for me every single day of the week. There's always some like crazy thing happening and people are so nice. Everyone's like trying to get in my video. I love it. I absolutely love it here. Okay, so that was just like a kind of quick one today to sort of explain like, wow, she's in KL again. Of course I am. Any chance I have to come to Kuala Lumpur, I will always be here. So no surprise, I'm here again for the 4th time. I'm actually going to Penang on the weekend because so many of you guys have always commented on my videos telling me that I need to go to Penang, so I'm taking your advice. So I'm going to make some videos this week, so let me know if there's anything you want to see in KL, and then I'm going to be spending time in Penang for the first time, so I cannot wait. Let me know any suggestions on things to do there as well, because you guys are always full of good tips, so thank you in advance for those. Okay, so thank you for watching. If you like this, like below. Subscribing is the best thing you could possibly do, so if you could subscribe to my channel, that would be amazing. I'm so close to 5,000 subscribers, so I would love to hit that. Thank you again for those of you who have, and yeah, as I said, let me know what more you want to see. I'm excited to make some videos for you, and I'll see you soon on my next KL video. Bye.